Welcome to the Canva Classroom, everybody. When I started editing for this week's subscriber celebration, there were 252 subscribers. 6 hours later, there are 255. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Canva Classroom. You've learned a cool illusion for text, then how to blur a background and outline a person. And yesterday, you were taught how to create a template with 2 grids and a line. Let's get started. We're going to start off with this template. One of the things I encourage you to do when you get a template is to use it to create something different. So I did. I created this. This is what we did on Monday. And I want you to see the changes that I made to it. This was the first thing I did. It's very simple. If you are in the early stages of learning how to thumbnail, this is a great option. Rustic printed. The font size is 170. We've got just a single image here in a grid with the line and another grid with a color. I wanted an upgrade though, so I put in an image, a different image, and blurred it. That's where the blurred background comes in. And then I added the person without a background so that it popped off the thumbnail. The next thing I did was add an outline. It makes it stand out. I added a second outline. It's a second effect. Let me show you. You see? It's actually a duotone effect. Finally, I adjusted the text. I gave it a really cool text effect. What are we waiting for? Let's put this together. Here was Monday's template. It is a grid. If I click delete on the keyboard, you will see that it is a grid. Here's the image I used. It is called Fine Dining. It is a Canva Pro image. Click on the image, edit, adjust, see all, and blur. For this one, I went to 28. And then left click, pop it in the grid. I'm going to wait on the color until I get her in. This is a young woman sitting in a restaurant eating. You can do the same technique. Wow. Okay. Bonus tip, lock your grids down so that the photo doesn't try to take over. You can use your own images, which I encourage you to do. If you are creating a thumbnail, then use your own images. What I'm going to show you now is the Canva Pro feature of removing the background. If you need something that's not Canva Pro to remove a background, look in the description and I will leave the links there. I'm going to resize her so that she reaches the top of the thumbnail. I forgot to mention that if you don't know what size for YouTube thumbnails, then go to the homepage, type in YouTube thumbnail, and it will give you a suggestion. The size is 1280 by 720 pixel. And you can choose to create a blank or, of course, use and create a template like we did recently. Back to the lesson. Now, we're going to edit image and add a shadow. If you can't find it, type it in, shadow. You can do anything you want here. I'm going to make it white, but if you wanted to make it yellow or orange or anything you wanted, feel free to do that. In fact, why don't we just change it up and make it orange? I'm going to increase the size, the transparency, and look, the blur, I can make it like a real outline, but I'm actually going to increase the blur. Now we've got the orange hue here. I just need to make sure, I print screen that, I need to make sure that I can see the number. I'm going to take this and duplicate it And I'm going to drag it down here to the timeline, to the one I'm working on. This is the one I'm working on. So left click and then drag down to when it's purple. And there she is. Left click image, X out of that, and type in Duotone. Duotone. And we're going to choose this one called Amber. You can choose any one of them, and the good thing about Duotone is you can click the control panel and change the highlights and shadows to anything you want. And that includes one color. So I could change it to black and black, and this would be a black image. It is thinking it's going to get rid of the background in just a minute, or it should. Even that's a cool look. So here she is in front, right clicks and backwards. There we go. You can't really see the orange glow, which is why I didn't do it originally. So I'm going to change that back to, I can't change it back because there's already a yellow orange glow there, but I am going to change it to white, size, give it a blur. It's going to look a little different than the original one I did, but that's fine. I don't need this anymore. We've got that. Now it's time for text. I'm going to copy this right here. Actually, I'm not. I did not add the color, did I? Let's unlock it. The yellow is fine. If you want to use yellow, you might choose a yellow from hers, or even this darker color, which I'm going to go with. Now I'm going to get the fancy font with the Duo effect. And there we have a very cool thumbnail. Now I do need to adjust her a little bit for my preference so that you can see all of the words. But I think that's pretty good. There's nothing that's going to get away in the timestamp or the timeline. You could even reverse this if you wanted and have the words over here and her flipped if you wanted, or just use the same technique in a different style thumbnail. That's the thing. We're all different. We are all unique and different in our own way. And what one person likes, another person might not. I think this is a great start. And it's got a lot of effects that you wouldn't expect from a beginning YouTube thumbnail. If you need a lesson on the text, look up on the right-hand corner. There's a little eye. If you click that, an info card will pop down and you can get the tutorial for that specific video. Well, I think that's all we've got. Thank you so much for learning with me today. If you like this tutorial and want to see more like it, give it a big thumbs up and remember to subscribe. Turn on your notifications for future Canva tutorials. In the meantime, I recommend you check out one of these videos. See you next time. Bye.